So here we are. I'm going to introduce Theo into the wash tank. I'm using a hydro bath. I think it's, my personal view is that the white interior is a nicer environment, and also tactile wise it's easy for them to sort of feel more at home with something like this than a stainless steel bath. So I get a little bit more nicer behaviour, so there'll be quite a bit of noise, so just watch the process. So now, this wonderful soap, I've broken it in half, which I spoke about earlier. So I'm just going to lather them up. Paying special attention to the feet and paws that will probably harbour most of the dirt, and the legs and all those zones. If you imagine what happens when your dog comes back from a walk, so I want to make sure that we have that idea. So it's not just the body and the top bits, it's actually all the other bits that are really important to make sure you get in there. As you can see, it lathers up very quickly. Works really well. I mean, it's safe enough for the dog to actually eat the lather or the soap. My Ridgebacks will have it chomp at the bar, and it doesn't do anything to their constitution, so you don't need to worry about them having to run to the vets and saying, oh, the dog's eaten something, the soap and blah blah, and they have to do all that sort of stuff. So just a very safe product for the dog. In essence, it's what's safe for the dog. For me, I always advocate products that are safe for the dog, minimum risk of hurting your dog, because you want this grooming process, and especially the washing, to be as nice as possible for the dog. So just getting into all those areas with the soap, getting in a good rich lather. Everywhere. And of course it's so mild and gentle that we can also use it close to the face without causing any stinging or irritation into the eyes. And I have done it on myself just to see whether or not my eyes start burning, because that gives me an indication. Well, if it does, then I want to keep it safely away from the dog's eye. Theo, you really camera shy. Let me do your face. So there we are. It's fringing his eyeballs, just gently away from his eye socket, just wiping down. Just a bit of soap there. And just do ears gently, but not going too much into the inner ear, because we don't want to be more trimming there. But again, the little bit of soap that goes onto the inner ear just helps to get rid of that greasiness, and we'll just tissue that out things later on. So now he looks nice and soapy. Just do a little bit more onto his feet, just because Theo's an excessively active dog. Healthy dog, fit dog, which is what I want to see. Great quality of life, good balance. And you can see that in his behaviour. He's very accepting, he's a very calm chap. And I know there's some things that dogs don't like, and that's to be on 3 legs. Sorry Theo, but he's very tolerant of me. Good mates, aren't we, kiddo? Excellent. Right, now. So I'm just going to release the anal glands. Let's make sure they're clean. This is done around his bum area. And we're just going to use a bit of this to make sure we can get right into the skin. It's just a rubber brush. I think this is called a zoom groove brush. It's just it's all made out of rubber, very soft teeth, and it just helps to massage in, and just to make sure I'm getting down to the skin and just making it nice. Any dead skin, any loose follicles, let's just agitate them, loosen them off. Any deep set dirt or anything will be good, just to get right down to the root of the hair and onto the skin, just to give you a good exfoliator, as they say. Just going to go on, make sure we've got everything nice, not just so that we're washing the surface of the coat. Especially important with long-haired dogs and really fluffy coats. We'll make sure that we get right down to the skin, just making sure. And again, just washing away from his face all those sensitive bits and pieces. So just back with the almost done. Good. And then the next stage will be the rinse. So as you can see, it takes very little time at all. Quickly done. We'll use the squeegee on him to get some of this water off before he shakes it all over me. So how I handle the dog throughout the whole process of the grooming is a very light, supportive touch, no excessively hard gripping, because then it puts the dog into a different state. So it's just a reassuring, firm sort of holding, just to give the dog a little bit of support, really. I guess my logic comes from the fact that if we're being pushed and pulled around, it puts you into a different mindset. So the same thing with the dog. If I was to be a little bit too firm or a little bit too, in there, it's not the right state. The dog will go on to being sort of, hang on, what's going on here? And you get a different change of behaviour. So I just want to support him. If he wants to lean into my hand, he's more than happy. And then there's times now when I'm going to lift up his leg in order to do his feet, and I want to give him some support, because dogs are not designed to balance on 3 legs. So it's just nice to have a bit of that and get a slightly more gentler behaviour, because it's really important. I don't use any restraints on dogs. I don't see the need to do that, and that's me personally. I'm not saying, but I've never had the need to have any neck straps or body straps or anything like that. Even with larger dogs, I think by handling them safely, I've always had the right sort of temperament from the dog to work on. So, other groomers, and if you've got people that are just a little bit nervous about the dog, or the dog's extremely nervous, then possibly a necktie is a good thing to do. Because it's only me here, I'm quite confident and accepting of the risks if anything should go astray. But that's just me. So, please, if you are learning how to groom, don't think you need to get rid of all the restraints. That's not the way forward. Build up confidence. I've been working with dogs for many years now, and you know, so I'm quite confident with how I can read the body language and feel the energy and the temperament of the dog in order to make sure that I'm safe. So the most important tip I would say is, even if you're using a necktie or a restraint or whatever you're doing, always treat the dog like a 1-year-old child who's just learned to crawl. Never ever think for one moment to switch off. Constantly keep assessing, keep thinking about what the dog's doing, because its states can change within a blink of an eye, especially with more yappy dogs. So nervous dogs can suddenly just go. So just keep an eye on the temperament. So squeegee it off. I'm not going to blast him with the cold air because he doesn't need it. This sort of coat, a silky coat, doesn't need it. All I'm really going to do now is just give him a nice good towel, and we'll take you over to the drying process. So, come on then, Theo. Let's have you out now. Yes, the big daddy. Come on, boy. Good boy. Good boy.